about it and just thinks that it's absolutely incredible. Go read it for yourself. So there they are. Yeah, we want a dictatorship. Under any other name is still a dictatorship. A rose is still a rose by any other name. And yeah, there's a MAP 21 system under Agenda 21 bill that says the IRS can just say you don't have a Second Amendment right anymore if they feel like it for any reason. You're just put on a no-gun-buy list, no-gun-own list, which we know the White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel said in speeches they would do. How many times have I played that clip? And then they also say in there, you won't be able to travel unless the IRS authorizes you, no judge, no jury. And I found a bunch of other stuff in there. And of course they're going to have the IRS, who's got their fingers in every business, all this compliance stuff that's indentured servitude, making you work for them, hundreds of billions a year, hundreds of billions conservatively. Last time it was 250-something billion they were estimating for IRS compliance. And now you're going to comply on all this other stuff. And the IRS, who works for the private Federal Reserve, that's the banker's army, backed up by your local federalized SWAT team and your federalized state police and then your Homeland Security. I knew it would happen. The TSA is now, reports are coming in at shopping malls and groping people. Just randomly go, we're the TSA. And they wave a magic little wand and your police suddenly can do it. So the Supreme Court says, yeah, police, even a custodial arrest side of the road, can now strip search you. And they're now hiring people who want to do it. That's the thing, is that every weirdo pervert is now getting a badge and a gun, and if they can't even pass those requirements, they just become TSA. I mean, we've got cancer. The federal government is foreign banker-run, enemy beachhead, and they're getting ready to roll up the whole country. And the American people finally woke up and are buying 5 million guns a month. But the Civil War route is not the way to go, because they're going to blow stuff up and blame it on those of us that defend ourselves. And in the end, we'll end up winning that physical battle. But the globalists will sit offshore. They don't care if everything gets wrecked. They'll come back in later under another incarnation, because what they want to do is wreck the society. So Obama says he can't wait to get reelected. By the way, when Mitt Romney gets in, if he does, he'll just use all the new powers too. He's bought and paid for by the exact same people. You think Bush is bad, so you're like, oh, Obama must be better, and then he's horrible, well, Romney must be better. No. No. Just watch. But the way they're looking, they may just put Obama in regardless and declare him emperor. And if you're not for it, you're a racist. So they're now announcing you cannot help with any family chores. No judge, no jury, no law. It's a rule from the Department of Labor and Agriculture. Oh, and here's another one. Water in your bird bath. New York Times. That will be $300. No water ever allowed in bird baths because you don't know when to dump it out to kill mosquitoes. So now anything that holds water, you're going to be fined, and the bureaucrats are coming on your property without warrants. They're now teaching bureaucrat code enforcers and others that they don't have to have a warrant and teaching you it's a privilege. Why not? They told you driving's a privilege. It's not. They're now telling you guns are a privilege. And it goes on and on. But then the big kahuna today, that this story is getting no traction, and it angers me. We need to get this out to everybody. Bill allows IRS to revoke Second Amendment rights by stealth. And here's the issue. Just like with the NDAA, oh, Alex, it doesn't allow secret arrest of citizens. Months later after it passes, oh, yeah, it does. Head of the FBI says, yeah, it does, but, you know, got to ask the president about that. See, once it's in place, oh, yeah, it does do that. I've read the bill. You can read it. It ties into this whole administrative thing. It ties into what the White House Chief of Staff, Emanuel, now the Chicago mob boss, said, that they would just put you on a list through agencies and you don't own guns, never convicted, no crime, total tyranny. And we've got the subsection that says it. But it's not just knives. They say any permit, any right, they can withdraw anything. They can say you can't travel, take your house, without judges, juries, anything. I mean, it's more than just guns. We just focused on that. Just total, massive, lawless, a declaration that, yes, we're criminals, yes, we're coming. Of course they're criminals. They let the troops use DU, they know it's a death sentence. These are mad dog crazies. You understand that? because they've gotten away with so much. Congressman says he was assaulted during TSA pat-down, and now every time he flies, they know who he is and grab his testicles and crush him. That's KENS5. Oh, they're like, you don't like us? Get over here. And they just like go, ah! And it's like, oh, and the police come. It's a celebration of evil, a human sacrifice of his testicles. We'll be right back. By the way, I wasn't joking. Congressman Canseco says now every time he flies, it's KENS San Antonio News 5. We have our own report at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.tv. Congressman says he was targeted for grope down by TSA. Representative says he was assaulted by TSA and then punished for complaining. And now when he flies, he has to fly to D.C. every week or so, and he comes back and sees his family back to South Texas, just south of me here. They call him aside and know who he is and call the police over and say, you're going to take it or you're not flying. And he describes it. That's what everybody describes. They put your hand on you and then they lift up and then they grab your sexual organs and start crushing them to make sure it's not a bomb. And, man, they get off on it. I've sat there at the airport and watched it. Well, Miss USA talked about it. The more she cried, the more they got off. They had to settle one because there was video of it. They pulled the woman's shirt off, began grabbing her breast, asking her for a date. She began to sob. Rape victims are breaking down. And every pervert out there is just hitting us and hitting us hard. So that's America. And Obama says he can't wait to get reelected to totally ignore Congress. And they're going to ban kids doing chores on the farm, and which just kills the culture. I mean, and kills parental consent. All over the country, they're taking DNA from kids without warrants or parental consent and giving them vaccines. I mean, this just they just want a shooting war. I mean, they want it, and they want it now. And they're going to start one. They're going to blow stuff up, guaranteed, and blame it on us. They're terrorists. We have terrorists running things, and they got a bunch of idiots working for them. The average moron working for them doesn't even know all this. They're like, I'm going to go and watch a football game, Bob. All right, see you tomorrow. And they have no idea they're living in the middle of a Twilight Zone episode. They give them all these little excuses for why they're doing it. Okay, I've ranted enough. Do you guys have that particular phone number and have that queued up that I want ready? Okay, because we're going to do that later after I take some calls. We have a surprise coming up. I just every minute want to wake up from this. I mean, Ron Paul's described it. They grab his genitals and begin squeezing him. And it's been described as being lifted off the ground. I mean, they get in there and like, let me check and feel it to check what it is. I mean, get me out of here. And now they're like, we're going to be on the highway, pal. And they're teaching the cops. And I just cannot put up with you anymore. You narcotics, trafficking, child kidnapping, murdering, banker, occupation, crime, mafia. Oh, I hate your guts, you filth. And I hate all the stupid people that go along with you. You make me want to throw up. None of you will be happy. You got total depression and total cancer in this country. And don't worry, you're going to get it. David in Texas, you're on the air, listening on 90.1 FM. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Alex, got a question. I've been listening to you for a long time since you've been on Access, and I was just going to jog your memory. If you remember a guy calling in, you were talking about President Bush Sr. at the time, and I called in and told you that I thought he was the devil. I was just wondering if you remember that.
I think I vaguely do remember that.
Yes, sir. And I was just wondering if you know what I'm talking about now. I didn't mean that he was the devil. I mean that he's working for the devil.
Oh, they are. 100. It's all real. Let me tell you. These people believe, they think Lucifer's God. They follow it. That's why they're so horrible. I mean, I was watching a movie about a reported true story of exorcisms on the treadmill today. It's called The Rite with Anthony Hopkins. We actually had a chance to meet one time, but side issue. And it's a true story or based on what reporters said they saw. And the point is, in all these cultures, what demons act like and what they like to do is what these government leaders do. I mean, that's what it's like. I mean, I watched Legend that I hadn't seen since I was a teenager with Tom Cruise a few weeks ago on the treadmill. And the little demons that are going out, the little goblins going out to kill the unicorn, the kind of little things they say and what they do and how they like ugliness and hurting good things. And it's like, I can't watch stuff like that because I'm like, this isn't movies. All this stuff comes from what's really gone on, but it's all metaphors. These people are goblins. These people are like, oh, so cute and sweet, like to see it rotting meat. You know, that's who they are. And it's just like, oh, man. I mean, look at what these governments do. The horrors. They're waging, they are. These people are the legions of Satan. And they have taken over the churches, and we are in a lot of trouble. Every church I go to is worship the government. Well, the individual in government may not be evil, but they are an instrument of it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you want to add anything else, David?
Yeah.
Stay there. I'm going to come back to you. She asked me a question. I'm going to run on. I got to rampage through these calls. Adam, David, Bob, Barbara, and others. The president is openly saying he wants to be a dictator. The bankers are openly destroying this country. Oh, I can't even look at Big Sis. She's on screen right there.
We're on the march. The empire's on the...
We are back live. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's move quickly through the calls. David, finish your point. Yes, I get what you say now about he reminds you of the devil. That these people are the devil. Go ahead.
I wanted to get your opinion. If you think we're watching Revelations live, my opinion is studying Revelations in the Bible. I believe that Obama is more than just a puppet. I think he may be your false prophet setting up the New World Order for the Antichrist.
I don't know. The world's so crazy. I mean, who knows? I mean, it might as well be, but I say go ahead and get it over with. But, you know, here's my issue. Growing up, all I heard was preachers say, you know, Jesus comes back in 1987, 89. All this stuff constantly is put out there so that people always say, well, I'm not going to do anything. It's the end of the world. Or the New Agers think 2012 is the end of the world, so they're all sucking their thumbs. When you're supposed to be out there confronting the evil. And people in Nazi Germany thought it was the end of the world and thought Hitler was the Antichrist. Of course, there are many Antichrists, doesn't the Bible say that? So this is definitely a model of it, and more it's lining up. But it's going to get a lot worse, where you want to go to school, want a job, you got to put a port in your head where they can plug in. They're already saying that. So it's going to get a lot worse. There's a lot more to come, to the point of if God didn't intervene, there would be no flesh left unharmed. Or no flesh left on earth. See, the globalists are pure deception. Whether you believe in the devil or not, you know what? That archetype, they're it. So the devil's real. It's called the New World Order. Whether you believe in the devil of the Bible or not, the devil's real, folks. I mean, it might as well be. These people make the devil look like a sweetie cake. I mean, you know, true evil is so much beyond what a good person. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but our heart's good. We have a blind spot because we can't even imagine it. We can't imagine a serial killer wants to grab a sweet little 3-year-old girl, rape him and torture him for months, and just sucking off of the horror and the pain. And for us, that's like just disgusting and enraging and painful. To them, it's like sunshine. It's black sunshine. That's what psychopaths describe it as, like a glowing darkness. And they must be defeated. They must be overrun. They must learn fear. They must be trampled. And so in each